former teacher says the almost $4,000 cost of getting re-registered should be funded by the government. Rebecca Cookson is working as a part-time nanny because she could not afford the fee for the Education Council's 12-week refresher course. You can be a teacher, deregistered basically, and you have to pay that money to do the refresher course to get back into the classroom. We have 25,000 of these teachers, and many of them want to get back into the classroom, but they haven't got the $4,000, you see, and Rebecca joins me now. Lovely to have you on the program.
Good morning.
Okay, so you tell me, when were you last in the classroom?
I was last working in a classroom on the 3rd of August, which was the time that my practising certificate expired. The 3rd of August was when my teacher's licence expired last year.
Oh, so 3rd of August last year. So
yes.
You were in the classroom a year ago. So what sort of teacher are you?
I'm a high school teacher. I have English as a major, and I also have a CELTA qualification to teach English language.
Right, okay, so you're a fully qualified... heavily qualified teacher.
Yes.
It was in the classroom a year ago.
Yes.
And you simply can't go back into the classroom because of you've been deregistered.
I'm not deregistered. I'm still registered. I received an email confirming that yesterday from a lady from the Education Council called Janine McCruddy. And I am registered, but I'm not licensed. And you cannot work in any classroom in New Zealand unless you have a teacher's practising licence, or certificate they call it now.
Right. And do you want to be a teacher again?
Yes, of course, because, well, I was a relief teacher. I enjoyed relieving. That was my particular area that I enjoyed. It's not as well paid as full-time work, but it's nonetheless an important role in schools. It relieves the workload for full-time teachers, so if they have to go off sick or do professional development, the principal or relief coordinator of a school calls in relievers to do the work while those full-time teachers are taking time elsewhere doing their workload. I enjoyed relieving. It's a job where you have to adapt and manage behaviour of a variety of students. I had work every day while I was a relief teacher.
But you can't even relieve now without these...
No, I'm not allowed to relieve even. I'm not allowed to go into any school in New Zealand because I do not have a teaching practising.
This is ridiculous, isn't it?
That's what I feel, and so do thousands of other teachers in my position.
Right, so you've spoken to your colleagues or your friends in this area. What do they say?
They are constantly trying to fight for their cases too. I know a lot of teachers who are still trying to argue with the Education Council in various ways to try and either get the TER course, the Teacher Education Refresher course, funded by some other means because they can't afford this cash up front, because you have to pay for it in cash, basically. They are constantly trying to fight for their position to get a renewed practising certificate.
So you're saying that we could solve this crisis tomorrow?
Yes, we could. It's very easy to solve the problem, in my opinion, and I think a lot of principals would agree with me, so would a lot of teachers. It's not rocket science to figure out how you can solve the teacher shortage. There are other issues that have to be addressed regarding full-time teachers and their workloads, because they are living in a hellish situation with the workload. But with regard to relievers and the shortage, that can be fixed up very quickly, in my opinion.
Rebecca, have you got a student loan? How much is it?
I have to pay back $8,000 still. I've paid off most of it, but I'm still paying off my student loan, the component from the College of Education, Canterbury University, where I did my teacher's Diploma of Teaching and Learning for secondary teaching.
So it's $8,000. What was it at its highest?
Oh, it was about 30,000.
30,000.
Yeah, I've paid most of it off. I've got 8,000 left to pay.
Okay, and at your peak, and if this is a rude question, tell me, and I'll bugger off. But what were you earning at your peak in this job?
Well, I was getting about 2,000 to 2,500 a week.
Right. So you were on what was the salary?
Well, it was about 45,000.
Right, okay.
But more than that, it's a lot less. But I was able to pay off my student loan plus KiwiSaver, and
so you did all that.
Save some money, and
right.
I saved as well.
Well, I can see why you probably can't afford the $4,000.
Exactly, and I didn't want to hand over my savings over to the Education Council. Why should I?
Yeah, fair enough too. I mean, it's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah, when it's like that, yes.
Yeah.
And do you regret it? Do you regret going into teaching? Do you wish you'd chosen another profession?
Sometimes I do. I think perhaps there might have been other career paths I should have done. But the relief teaching I enjoyed. I enjoyed that. I liked meeting all the different staff from different schools, different students. It was a very interesting kind of situation. You get to go around different schools, and that was something I really enjoyed.
Red tape in the way of what seems to me like a common sense decision, that you could be in a classroom within half an hour from the studio. You could be in a classroom relief teaching today in Auckland, couldn't you?
Absolutely. If I had a certificate, I could go into any classroom, and I'm sure, the principals from a lot of schools around Auckland, they seem to like what I did. Some of the students could be very tough at times because some of the South Auckland schools, they have some rather difficult students, but that's part of the job of being a reliever. You have to manage that, and you adapt.
Full-time social worker as well.
It is like that. It is a little bit like that.
Hey, Rebecca, thank you for coming in. Thank you for emailing us yesterday. Thank you for getting in contact with us. We were inundated with emails and contacts, so it was brilliant. Thank you so much. We've got to solve this issue. Common sense. Why does stupid things get in the way of what seems like a really simple decision?